folks, welcome to the channel. So what we do here is we pick classic games and we play them. I would like to see the games at least 4 years old, although some games will be brand new because you know already before they're even out of the box that this is going to be a classic game. Now, first game we're going to talk about, and it is a classic in the true sense of the word. It's almost 10 years old and it's still going strong. It's an MMO called World of Tanks. Now, World of Tanks came out was released, I guess, in 2010, in August 12th of 2010. I remember because I was watching a TV commercial and this came on. And I didn't bite right away. I was too busy playing another game called EverQuest. And so finally one day I said, oh God, they keep putting this commercial up. I'm going to go try this game out. And I've been playing it ever since. Not proclaiming to be that great of a tanker. In fact, I'm not that strong at all, but I do have my stellar games, and I do know as a game designer how a game works. And so I can tell you a few things about games that you're not going to hear from other reviewers. This isn't really a review, it's a feature. Although we will be talking about a lot of tanks in this game. I do have a lot of tanks. I really enjoy the game, and the game is going strong. It has a great community. Actually, it's interesting note here, a little side note. This game holds the Guinness World of Records for the most played video game of all time. Now that's something pretty cool, and I don't think the game's going anywhere in the next 20 or so years. There's always new players, there's always new content. They're very good with their community. It's a very strong community, has a great mod community which does paint jobs, UI fixes, adds in gun sites and all sorts of things. There's also some cheaters in there, but the game people, developers, Wargaming is very active at trying to dismantle those. So it's as good a community as I've ever found on an MMO. Okay, so it's a classic game, and what we're going to talk about is a classic tank to start it off. And what better tank to talk about than, ta-da, the Tiger 1. Now this Tiger 1 comes in a few different variants in the game. It does have a couple of other variants that are what we call premiums. Now here is one of them, and now you pay money for this. Now this one drops down a tier to tier 6. Still a great tank to play. I think I bought it for 50 bucks with a bunch of other stuff. And so you got this one here, which is a tier 6. And if you go over to the Japanese, I'm going to scroll all the way over to the Japanese. A few years ago, they released a version for the Japanese because historically, the Japanese were shipped a Tiger 1. And I don't think it got there. I think it sunk in the ocean before they got it. So anyways, and there's this one here, which is arguably a better tank than the other two. But that is up in the community. I'm not here to argue. I just present the cool tanks, and we go on from there. Anyways, so the one I'm talking about today is the one that you get in the game, and you get it through the tech tree. Let's get ourselves back here to the Germans. And you have to work your way up like any other MMO. You have to work your way up into different tanks. So you start at tier 1, so you go into the tech tree, and it'll already have you sitting at whatever tank is on your garage floor or your home room, whatever you want to call it. It'll go to that country. Okay, so you start here. Everybody starts with this little guy, and you just move your way up from him all the way up to your Tiger 1. And then they have a Tiger P and a Tiger 2. Okay? Tiger 2 and the Tiger P are my two favorite tanks in the entire game, outside of a couple of other tanks that we'll talk about at another time. Anyway, so for this review or demonstration, we are going to talk about the Tiger 1. Now the Tiger 1 is what we classify in wargaming or in World of Tanks as a heavy tank. Now the classifications go as light tank, medium tank, and heavy tank. Now, the only similarities in this would be between the heavies and the mediums, because the medium tanks will sometimes have the same gun as a heavy tank. Now, some of the players don't like that. They're calling that a cheat. They're calling that an OP tank, overpowered tank. But what I think, hey, I mean, in real life, we had medium tanks that had monster 90mm guns. We've had light tanks that even had these great big guns. So, me, I don't really care, right? As long as I have a good time and I'm playing the game and enjoying myself, that's all I care about. But that's here or there. We're just talking about the game and this classic beautiful tank. Now, one thing about the tank, it's modeled beautiful. This is my favorite one because it has the log on it, has all these different things all over it. Tank tracks, a gun hanging off it, a helmet. It's got damages on it. It's just downright cool, right? Fender's all bashed up. You know, got some bullet holes in the back exhaust. It's just a really cool, I mean, one of the flanges, one of the guards is missing. A typical tank out on the Russian front that's had the tar kicked out of it is still just going along. And that's what I like about wargaming, is they put the brutality of what these things were built for into the game. It gives you a deeper immersion. As far as I could say about this game without digging into the numbers and talking for an hour, it's got a great gun. Now, in World of Tanks, the majority of people will say that the German tanks have the best guns, the most accurate, best penetration for the number, and just a all-around great gun for long distance sniping. A lot of guys will take these heavies because they have the very long L71s on there, and they will shoot and they can do almost the whole map or the entire map if they've got enough spotters in front of them and still do some great damage. Also, what's really great about the Tiger 1 is it has excellent mobility. This thing doesn't have the mobility of a medium or a light, but it's not hurting in any way. I would say as far as heavy tanks go, it's one of the more mobile tanks in the whole game. It moves around. It's very user-friendly. It's got excellent gun handling. Turret traverse is excellent. Hull traverse is excellent for what it is. Okay, now we're in the heavy tank category. Okay, so things are going to move a little slower, but to compensate for that, you got heavier armor. Now, in World of Tanks, the hulls, the hull and the turrets on the front have the most armor. Your weakest armor, of course, is up here, where artillery is going to just obliterate you, or somebody sitting up on a hill is going to come down and splash shots on you. You're going to get really pissed off because they're just going to be wrecking you, okay? The whole trick is to have situational awareness in World of Tanks. Like, really get to know the maps. Don't worry about your rating. It is a rated game, but don't worry about that right now. If you're new to this game, just get out there and just watch the more experienced players, kind of follow them around a little bit sometimes. Don't camp. Camping gets you killed. Okay, campers, illegal in this game unless you're a TD or a sniper tank. Okay, this is not a sniper tank. It has terrible camouflage. So anyway, you usually have heavier armor on the front, medium armor on the back, and pretty weak armor on the medium armor on the sides, and very light armor on the rear end. Okay, so the whole thing about that is that you're not supposed to go broadside to anybody if you can help it. We got something called side scraping. What side scraping is when you turn your tank on an angle and the bullets hit and they will scrape off. Now, what we look for on a lot of tanks is flat spots. When you're shooting on a tank, you want to hit the flat spots. On the Tiger, you want to shoot in here, along the sides, anywhere that's flat. If you can get it along here, you're going to get, if you have the gun, okay, you're going to get some damage on it. Okay, now one thing about the tank, it does have, in World of Tanks, what they do is they have a modular setup where the player can pick how they want to set their tank up to a certain degree. So what I've got down here is I've got ventilation, which makes your crew freshly ventilated. Hey, They're getting fresh air, makes their brain work better. So it pushes up their crew skills by 5%. Then we got a gun rammer. Gun rammer, okay, one thing a lot of players are going to tell you in World of Tanks, the thing that gets them knocked out the fastest or gets them on the hairs of their ass the most is gun reload. If you get trapped by a bunch of guys, you want a hard-hitting, accurate, fast reloading gun. That's the main thing that you want. Plus you want some decent armor, but you also want to have enough intelligence in your brain after 3,000 or 4,000 battles not to get yourself into those situations if you can help it. But if you do get stuck in a situation like that, the gun rammer will give you -10 to loading time. Reload is everything in my books because I'm a terribly, terribly average player. I'm not an uber player. I'm no god of the tracks. Nothing like that. I am a game designer who understands how games are designed. I have a master's in computer science and I have a master's in game design. I completely understand what's going on inside a game. But that doesn't make me a killer pro player. But I do know what's going on. It makes me a pretty good reviewer. Also in World of Tanks, and what really works good for this for me, a lot of guys probably wouldn't use this, is probably some specs. Okay, I call them speckies, binoculars or a telescope. Okay. Plus 25 to view range. The reason I have this is because if my team gets split between two maps and one side's going this way and the other side's going that way, I've got 5 or 6, I got 350 to 600 meters splitting between us most times. If I can get a shot and the match is winding down to the final 30 seconds, there's no way I'm going to get over to the other side. Okay, to get some shots. So I'll set myself up on a few shooting lanes and I've got this unbelievable gun. I know I'm going to make the range. I know I'm going to get the penetration if I hit the right spot on the tank, and I know I can still contribute to my team's welfare or victory, hopefully. And that's why I got the binoculars, because it adds 25% to my view range. So I can go up to 445 meters. And if there's a teammate sitting up there and he's 50 meters away from my target, well, of course I can see him and my view range is gonna hit him, and I'm probably gonna get another couple hundred meters. So, I mean, it's beautiful, okay? So that's why I've got the binoculars on there. And sometimes I get into matches where I am just horrible and I suck and I sit back a little bit. No, I do not camp. No, I do not hold back, but I will sit back a little bit and let the better players go forward, and I will try to support them with this incredible gun. And that's what's so beautiful about the Tigers. It's got the mobility to get from shooting lane to shooting lane quite quickly as far as heavies are concerned. And it's got that beautiful gun. It can also deflect a few shots. Now, there is a few things that you can do to even push up the armor a little bit. You can put in what we call is a spall liner. Where is the damn thing? You can have enhanced bars that makes your tracks not fall off. You got a heavy spall liner. 500,000 and 500,000. You know why? Because they really work. They really do push the tank's armor count up high. And the one thing that's going to nail you every time in World of Tanks, if you're new, is people are going to track you. Okay? They're going to lock you down. And they're going to track you twice. Okay? So that takes away your repair kit. And then you're back into crew repair. Okay, so if you have your crew maxed out on repairs, then it's going to repair decent, you're going to get on your way. But if you're locked down and your tracks just are blown off, they're just going to circle you and wreck you. So that's why I always say in World of Tanks, situational awareness. Okay, always know where you should be going. Hey, even some of us veterans and even some of us guys who are veterans who are only just average players, we get into ourselves into crap as well. We do make mistakes. We're only human beings. Don't let it get you down. Okay, guys, we're going to take this tank out. We're going to roll into a battle, and let's see what it does. Okay, catch you on the other side. All right, classic gamers, here we are. We are in one of the newer maps in World of Tanks, and fun as heck. I love this tank. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll in here. I'm going to follow the big boys up front. We got a tier 8 battle here. I'm in a tier 7, and the tier 8s are looking to be pretty solid tanks, and so I'm going to have to play some caution here. I'm going to roll straight into the city. We're going to have a good time with this. So let's roll up with the big guys. I'm going to back up and let them get ahead a little bit. Maybe they're going to light something up a little bit. Let this big old Tiger P, GW Tiger P go through. Okay. Go up into the city. I like to play in the city because you either live long or you die fast. And that's kind of the way I like to play. Really loving the Tiger, and I can't see why anybody wouldn't love the Tiger. At tier 7 you can have a pretty good battle. The one thing you really got to watch out for, guys, is that it is soft in the higher tier battles and it will take damage. So we're going to roll up here and just follow the big guys in here, and there's this, let's see if we can come up. We've got a T29, we've got an IS3, we got the SU-130. Now that thing can really wreck my world, but I'm going to take a chance on this guy because I can put a hole right through him with my little itty-bitty gun. So let's get scoped in and smack him hard. We got him. We smacked that bugger for 218. He hit me for 658. So that's the thing with the Tiger. You got to be careful right away. My driver's deader than a doornail. So now we got to play really tight here. We got to be really careful with what we're doing here. We got a T29. Let's put it in the pan. We got it for 260 points. I gotta be careful with the T29 because the T29 has a superior gun to this. It's probably one of the better guns. It is the best tank in tier 7, I would have to say. It gets me for 314. I bounce off the top of him, and now I've got to start thinking seriously about how I'm going to play out the remainder of this game. So I'm going to go over to the other side here. I'm going to let these guys think that I'm, you know, easy bacon on the plate. And I'm going to leave those guys behind and let them get themselves fucked up over there. Let's go over here and let's support these two big heavies here. We got a two T29s, and let's sit here and just pick off a few rounds and see what we can come up with here. So let's scope in, and turret's a little buggered up, but I'm going to just sit here and see if I can get around him. That guy seems to be a little distracted on the T29, which is a freaking wicked tank. I'm going to talk to you a lot about that. Let's drop in around. I got a bounce off of this guy. We're ahead by 1 kill, which is looking excellent. Now I've got 528 points, which is basically 2 hits for any other big tank on this map if I don't play it right. Now I'm down to basically 1 hit. So that was my fault. I kind of poked my nose out. I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to take this guy down right now. He's being an idiot. Goodbye. You're dead. Okay, got myself a kill. And I took some damage. Now I'm down to 26 points, and I gotta really seriously pull my head out of my fucking ass and really start thinking about what the hell am I doing in this fucking game, okay? So let's just back up here, let those T29s take hit. That was a godsend of a fucking shot. That was a godsend from Artie. Thank you, Artie. Gives me the chance to get the hell out of here. I got no way to fix up the engine, so let's go around the corner here. Got myself 1 good solid fucking kill. That was awesome. Kind of fucked up on my positioning here, and that's the thing I always say. It's, you know, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know where you are in this game. And this game will punish you, and it should punish you, and that's why I love it so damn much. Okay, let's move forward here. Let's scope in. Let's get something on this T29 if I can. You got to be really careful here because he's got a better gun, and he's down. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's think about this now. I should fix the engine as soon as I can, and I'm going to go up. I'm trying to make a decision. I think I'll go up where the T29 was, and I'll circle around that way. Probably the safest way to go because we do have 2 Arties on the other team. We're only ahead by 3, which could disappear really quick, and it could be a bit of a fucking disaster. Okay, so let's move forward here, and let's dead engine, crapped out turret. Let's see, we got something coming up here. Let's see if we can get something on this IS-2. Let's just take this IS-2. Boom! Fucking nailed him for 246. Okay, 246 is just right where the Tiger is all the time, but look how nice that sucker reloaded, and look how accurate that gun was. I didn't even go down. Let's take this guy. Let's take this guy. We got him. 66 ain't nothing to scream home to mommy about or take home to the wife to get laid, but hey, I'll take it. It's a kill. Anyways, we're going to move forward. We've got 9-3 now. We're doing really good. I think we got this game. Let's push it. I'm going to get some more damage shots here. I don't think I can get anything on this Scorpion much, but let's see if I can get something. If he even knows I'm around, I'm a goner. Let's drop a shot in. Boom! Nailed him for 258. That's my highest damage game. our shot, and this is what we should be doing. This is what we should be doing as soon as we got the damage. Utilize this wicked German gun, this awesome little Tiger gun. Utilize that gun and get those shots in. Just sit there, support your guys, and just shoot through. We got a 46 coming through, and I fucking hate these goddamn things. They're horrible to play against, and they just pick you apart. So I'm gonna be watching out for him and see if I can like help these guys with him. Maybe I'll get an extra shot on the. No, I don't think so. He just got taken down. So all we got is the Artie, and I'm gonna go hug a wall and not be in the open, and just sort of hug things along here. And this was just an awesome demonstration of what you do with the Tiger. This is how I always play my little Tiger, and I am in love with this tank. Even though I don't got a lot of games in it, it is one of my favorite tanks in the game. But my Tiger P, which I'm going to interview or do a review on next, is my ultimate favorite tank. Actually even got some stripes on the battle. That's it. It's a victory. Catch you over on the next one. Okay, folks, that was the battle, and it exhibited what a Tiger 2 can, a Tiger 1, excuse me, can do, and that was a very average battle for a Tiger and for myself. I usually would get over 2,000 points, but here's the thing. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of everything that this Tiger can do. It has some good mobility. It can take damage. But if it gets into the tier 8s and the tier 9s, it's going to get pummeled. And you could see that with the few shots that it did take, it really suffered. It went down very quickly, where I was down to, I think I was only down to 26 points of damage left, and I actually got a couple of kills at that point. Now that's when you revert back into your sniper mode and you start to work with this incredible gun, okay? I think we had a few repairs we had to do. We even had to do a medical repair, but anyways, we did not bad. We got 1,900 bucks on a standard account. We're not paying for this game. 770 XP. We go into a team score situation. I got 1,187 points of damage, which is not too bad. I usually get around 2,400, 2,500 like these other fellas do, but they're running some bigger tanks, and they should be getting better damage than that up there. And if we look at the detailed report, one thing I do like about this tank is when you're playing it, it is a good money maker. 6,400 bucks without a premium account. I shot 8 shots. I hit 8 times, and I had 6 penetrations, which shows how great this gun is. Total damage was 1,187. Okay, hits received were only 4. Penetrations were 4. So because we were going against bigger guys, they penetrated me quite easily. And enemy vehicles damaged and destroyed. I damaged 4 and killed 2. Damage caused with my assistance was 193. Distance traveled was a $1.31 in kilometers. And that's the Tiger 1. It is fun as heck to play. You know exactly what you're going to get all the time, and it's a great, great tank. It's well worth the grind. I would say go get it, and I would say go for it. Have a good time. Put a couple thousand battles into this thing. Get some stripes on the tanks. I don't got a lot of battles on this tank. I may have 40 or 50 battles into this tank. But in that amount of time, with the amount of damage that I've done, I've managed to come up to 105, 116% skill with my crew. And I've got my repairs and, brothers in arms. So we're doing pretty good. Okay, guys, that's it. I'm going to move over to another game. Please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. This is going to be a great channel. I'm going to talk about a lot of real classic games. We're going to go into Halo. We're going to go into some old games like Halo. We're going to go into some older tank games and some older armored games and some flight simulators, some combat flight simulators. We're just going to have a really great time. We're going to review everything we possibly can. And hey, yeah, spread the words and come around. And if you guys got a video that is really uber and you're really proud of it, I'm going to feature it on it. I'm going to push it like you wouldn't believe. Okay, guys, so get a hold of me through the YouTube channel. My email is right there. Send me an email and a link to your video, and I will record it and I will put it up for demonstration. And of course, I will give you all the credit, and it's going to be a great and beautiful thing. Okay, guys, that's it. Take her easy, classic gamers. Boom, we're out of here.